Good day, great and learners. We are now on the second week of our online discussion in Mathematics 10. Let's have a short recap on our discussion last week. We have tackled lesson 1, which is about patterns, arithmetic sequence, and series. We have learned that a set of numbers or figures based on a pattern or rule is called a sequence, and each term of it is called a term. You also learned on how to use the formula for finding the nth term of an arithmetic sequence without using the previous term, and how to find the sum of terms of an arithmetic sequence, which is called arithmetic series. For this week, we are going to discuss lesson 2, which is about geometric sequence. Are you ready? If yes, then let's start. Here are the most essential learning competencies or lesson objectives or targets you need to achieve or master at the end of this week. Number 1, illustrate a geometric sequence. Number 2, differentiate a geometric sequence from an arithmetic sequence. Number 3, determine geometric means, nth term of a geometric sequence, and sum of the terms of a given finite or infinite geometric sequence. Before we proceed to the introduction of our lesson, grab your MDLB book, first quarter, and open it on page 176. For the introduction of our lesson, let's read the problem and answer it. A certain culture of bacteria doubles every 4 hours. If there are 50 bacteria at 7 a.m., how many bacteria would there be at 7 a.m. the following day? Let us analyze the problem by making a list showing the growth of the bacteria. For day 1, 7 a.m., we have the 50 bacteria, 11 a.m., 100 bacteria, 3 p.m., 200, 7 p.m., 400 bacteria, 11 p.m., 800 bacteria. And for day 2, 3 a.m., we have 1,600 bacteria, and by 7 a.m. of the day 2, we have 3,200 bacteria. So if you notice, class, the number of the bacteria doubles up. So it is because it was stated in the problem that the bacteria doubles up every 4 hours. Okay? And let's answer the problem. Yung problem kanina is how many bacteria would there be at 7 a.m. of the following day? So the answer is there will be a total of 3,200 bacteria at 7 a.m. in the following day. Based from the information we gathered from the problem, the growth of the bacteria forms a sequence that can be written as 100, 200, 400, 800, 1,600, 3,200. Note that the difference between any two consecutive terms is not constant. So, patignan nga natin kung totoo. So, 100 minus 200, the difference 100. 200 and 400, the difference is 200. 400 to 800, the difference is 400. 800 and 1,600, the difference is 800. And lastly, 1,600 and 3,200, the difference is 1,600. Thus, this is not an example of an arithmetic sequence. So, bakit ba hindi siya arithmetic sequence? It is because it does not have a common difference. If you notice, class, the difference are not all the same. Now, the question is, what type or which type of a sequence it does belong? Saan ba nakabilong yung sequence na 100, 200, 400, 800, 1,600, and 3,200? So, which sequence does it belong? Let's continue. So, the same sequence, and based from the problem nga kanina, it doubles up every 4 hours. That's why, if we multiply it by 2, we get the succeeding term. For example, 100 times 2 is 200. 200 times 2, the answer is 400. 400 times 2 is 800. 800 times 2 is 1,600. And 1,600 times 2 is 3,200. In the illustration above, the succeeding terms can be obtained by multiplying the preceding term by a fixed number, which is 2. This kind of sequence is called a geometric sequence. Again, the sequence above is called a geometric sequence. What is a geometric sequence? Ano ba ang geometric sequence? So, it is a type of sequence in which the succeeding term is obtained by multiplying the preceding term by a fixed number, just like in the previous example. It is also known as a geometric progression. The fixed number is called the common ratio. Again, class, the fixed number is called the common ratio. Kung sa arithmetic sequence ang tawag is common difference, kay geometric sequence ang tawag sa fixed number is common ratio. It is denoted as R or small letter R. To generalize, we have the sequence. In the geometric sequence, we have the common ratio between the preceding term and the succeeding term. And the formula for finding the common ratio is R is equals to A sub n plus 1 divided by A sub n. R represents the common ratio, A sub n plus 1 represents the succeeding term, and A sub n represents the preceding term. For example, we have here A sub 1 and A sub 2. So A sub 2 is the succeeding term, A sub 1 is the preceding term. So the ratio is equals to A sub 2 divided by A sub 1. Another example, we have A sub 2 and A sub 3. So A sub 3 is the succeeding term, A sub 2 is the preceding term. So the formula will be the common ratio or R is equals to A sub 3 divided by A sub 2. So let's continue by trying to solve the example. So let us determine the common ratio and the next term of the in the following sequence. So ito yung dalawang kailangan natin makuha sa example number 1. For example number 1, we have the geometric sequence for 16, 64, 256, and so on and so forth. So the solution for this one, for finding the common ratio, I chose the second term and the first term for determining the common ratio. So again, we have here the original formula. Ratio is equals to A sub n plus 1 and A sub n. Then kanina sabi ko nga sa inyo, pinili ko si A sub 1 at si A sub 2. So kailangan natin yung values nila. So the A sub 1 is equals to positive 4. The A sub 2 is equals to 16. Then, yung gagawin natin sa formula class, medyo natin siya may babaguhin tayo konti wherein i-specify na natin yung terms na gagamitan natin para makuha si ratio, which is the ratio is equals to A sub 2 divided by A sub 1. And after that one, doon na natin substitute yung value ng first term and the second term. So the ratio is equals to 16 divided by 4. The answer is positive 4. Thus, the common ratio is 4. Now, the next term, on how are you going to identify the next term? So, simple lang. Dito tayo magbe-base sa ating given na geometric sequence. So, we have here 4 as the first term, 16 the second term, 64 the third term, and 256 the fourth term. So, what will be the next term? So, the next term will be the fifth term. That's why dito, sa next part ng solution ko, we have here A sub 5 is equals to question mark. And for us to be able to find the A sub 5 or the fifth term, we need the value of the fourth term, the A sub 4 or the preceding term, and the common ratio, which is 4. After getting that one, simple lang, gawa tayo ng formula. So, the A sub 5 is equal to the A sub 4 times the ratio. So, yan lang yung formula. The fifth term is equals to the A sub 4 times the ratio. Para makuha natin si A sub 5, kailangan lang natin si fourth term, then i-multiply natin sa common ratio para makuha siya. So, substitute na yung value. So, A sub 5 or the fifth term is equals to 256 times 4. So, the answer is A sub 5 is equals to 1,024. Therefore, the next term or the fifth term is 1,024. Another example. So, same direction. Let us determine the common ratio and the next term in the following sequence. Example 2. So, the geometric sequence given is 3, negative 15, 75, negative 375, and 1,875. For this one, in my solution, I chose the third term and the second term. as a basis for finding the common ratio. So here is the original formula. And let's get the value of the a sub 2 and the a sub 3. So a sub 2 is equals to negative 15 and the a sub 3 is equals to negative 300. A sub 3 is equals to 75 rather. Then let's alter the formula based from the given the terms that we are going to use for solving the common ratio. So it will become common ratio is equals to a sub 3 divided by a sub 2. Then after that one, substitute the value of the two terms. So common ratio is equals to 75 divided by negative 15. The answer is negative 5. So the common ratio is negative 5. Let's continue. So to identify class what will be the next term, so dito ulit tayo magbe-base sa given. So we have here 3 as the first term, negative 15 second term, 75 the third term, negative 375 the fourth term, and 1,875 the fifth term. So what will be the next term? So the next term is the sixth term. So a sub 6 equals to question mark. Yan yung ating isa-solve or ang ating i-determine. So to find the a sub 6, we need the preceding term. So the preceding term is a sub 5. So a sub 5 is equal to 1,875. Then the common ratio is equals to negative 5. So ito yung formula. So the a sub 6 equals to a sub 5 times r. Substitute the values. So a sub 6 equals to 1,875 times negative 5. So a sub 6 is equals to negative 9,375. Therefore, the next term or the sixth term is negative 9,375. Okay, let's continue. Okay, from the first part of our lesson, tas yung ginawa natin, sinolve natin yung common ratio. Then, hinanap natin yung succeeding term or yung nth term with the help of the previous term or yung preceding term. Pero yung susunod natin na discussion, hindi na natin kailangan si preceding term. So, it will have its own formula. So, paano ba nakuha yung formula? So, gagamitin natin yung example kanina about bacteria para ma-identify natin yung formula for finding the nth term without the help of the previous term. So, ito yung table na bago. Show ko na buo ng buo. Okay. So, we have here the a sub 1, yung sa kanina sa bacteria na sequence. So, a sub 1 is equals to 100. So, the formula is it's either a sub 1 or a sub 1 times the ratio raised to 0. The next one, we have here the a sub 2. So, the value of a sub 2 is 200. So, the formula for finding the a sub 2 is a sub 2 is equals to a sub 1 times the ratio or a sub 1 times r raised to 1. So, ito yung, for example, this first formula we have here, same lang siya or ito yung kanyang kalabasan. So, the a sub 1 or 100 times their common ratio which is 2. So, 100 times 2 is equals to 200. Kung ito naman second formula yung gagamitin, yung same lang yung result which is 200. So, next one is the a sub 3. So, 400, the formula is a sub 3 is equals to a sub 2 times the ratio or a sub 1 times r squared. And so on and so forth till we reach the a sub 6, which is equal to 1,600 times 2 is equal to 3,200. So a sub 6 equals to a sub 5 times the common ratio or a sub 1 times r raised to 5. With the help of this information, makukuha natin or madiderive natin yung formula. So in general, we have the formula a sub n is equals to a sub n minus 1 times the common ratio or a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. So, we have derived two formulas for finding the nth term. So, it's your choice kung asan yung gagamitin nyo dyan, pero later on, meron akong advice. So, check natin kung accurate ba, ito ba talaga yung general formula. So, let's try. Let's look for a sub 4 nga niya, si a sub 4. So, magiging a sub 4 siya dyan, si n is 4. So, magiging equal to a sub 4 minus 1 times r. So, 4 minus 1, the answer is a sub 3 times r. So, same lang siya ng nasa dito. Yung andito sa ating table or sa list. So, yung isa naman, gamitan natin, hanapin natin si a sub 4. So, magiging a sub 1 times r raised to 4 minus 1. So, 4 minus 1, the answer is 3. So, the same lang siya. Pero there is something we need to consider in this formula. always remember, for any natural number n, where r is not equal to 0. Hindi pa pwedeng mangyari na yung common ratio natin will be equal to 0. Kasi yung mangyayari sa sequence will be 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, or 0, 0, 0, 0 na lang lahat. That's why always remember this. A sub n is equals to a sub n minus 1 times r, or a sub n is equals to a sub 1 times common ratio raised to n minus 1 for any natural number n where r is not equal to 0. So let's continue. So the geometric sequence, ito yung part 2 ng discussion kay geometric sequence. So the formula for determining the nth term of a given geometric sequence without computing the previous term, or the a sub n minus 1, r. A sub n is equals to a sub n minus r times the common ratio, or r, or a sub n is equals to a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. So we have here two formula. Pero I will suggest to you, or strongly suggest, that you use this second formula kasi it is much easier to use. Okay? Again, the formula that I advise you to use is the a sub n is equals to a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. Another statement, a geometric sequence is finite if it consists of finite number of terms. Pag sinabing finite number of terms, class, we have an example of a geometric sequence ngayon na 1, 2, 4, 8. Ganyan lang, 1, 2, 4, 8. So 1, 2, 4, 8 is an example of a finite sequence. Kasi meron lang siyang limit. Pero kung meron tayong 1, 2, 4, 8, then comma, then ellipsis, and so on and so forth siya, it means it is an infinite sequence. Remember, pag limited lang yung terms sa sequence, it means finite siya. Pag limited lang, finite siya. Pag unlimited siya or endless, it is infinite. Okay, tandaan yan, class, ha? Pag limited, finite. Pag unlimited, infinite. So let's try some more examples. Class, i-apply na natin yung formula for finding the nth term of a given geometric sequence without computing the previous term. So we have here example 3. So determine the 11th term of the sequence 2, 4, 8, and 16, and so on and so forth. So this is an example of a infinite sequence. So start na natin yung pag-solve. Solution. So first, para ma-apply na magamit natin yung formula kanina, una muna nating hanapin is the common ratio. So for finding the common ratio, you have your freedom to choose kung which of the two terms yung gagamitin nyo. Basta si succeeding term at previous term. Magkasunod lang yung term na gagamitin natin. For this case, in my solution for example 3, I chose the first term and the second term. So a sub 1 is equals to 2, the a sub 2 is equals to 4. Then after that one, in-alter ko na yung formula. So, the common ratio is equals to a sub 2 minus, divided by a sub 1. Substitute the value. Common ratio is equals to 4 divided by 2. The common ratio, or the r, is equals to 2. So, we already have the common ratio. So, now, yung next natin gagawin is to determine the 11th term. So, kanina nga sabi ko sa inyo, sa part 1 ng solving ng geometric sequence, kailangan natin si previous term. Right? Pero ngayon, hanapin natin sa 11th term wherein yung given lang is 4 terms. The first, second term, and the fourth term. Then, hanapin natin sa 11th term without finding the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and the 10th term. So, ito yung formula. Tinuro ko na kanina. So, the formula is a sub n is equals to a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1, which is the second formula. Para dito, class, yung kailangan natin dito hanapin is the a sub 1 and the common ratio. Kaya nga kanina, inuna natin yung pag-solve kay common ratio kasi required siya para sa pag-determine ng nth term or ng 11th term dito sa ating problem. Then after that, nakukunin na natin si a sub 1. So to get the a sub 1, dito tayo titingin sa ating given. So the a sub 1 or the first term is equals to 2. Then the ratio naman, yan yung result ng solving natin kanina, which is equal to 2. Then the n is equals to 11. Dito tayo magbe-base sa i-determine nating nth term, which is the 11th term. So n is equals to 11. Then after nyan, class, yung next natin na gagawin is substitute muna natin ito yung unang gawin, class, is substitute natin yung n is equals to 11 sa ating formula. So for what purpose ba ba't inuuna ko yung n dito na i-substitute dito sa formula? Para ma-simplify natin agad yung formula. Less confusion class pag nakasimplify yung formula. So magiging ace of 11 is equals to ace of 1 times the common ratio raised to 11 minus 1. Then 11 minus 1, the answer is 10. So yung kalabasan niya is ace of 11 is equals to ace of 1 times the common ratio raised to 10. Then dito pa lang natin class is substitute yung values ng first term at ng common ratio. So ito na yung kalabasan niya. Pag substitute natin, ace of 11 is equals to 2 times 2 raised to 10. So ace of 11 is equals to 2 times 1024. Bakit ba 1024? It is the result of solving 2 raised to 10. Then i-multiply na natin yung two numbers. So ace of 11 is equals to 2048. Therefore, the 11th term of the sequence is 2048. So another example. For example, 4, we are going to determine the sixth term of the sequence 3, negative 15, 75, negative 375, and so on. And so again, yung ulit na natin yung step-by-step process. So una, hanapin natin si common ratio. So again, may freedom kayo sa pag-choose or pagpili ng terms na gagamitin nyo basta magkasunod lang sa pag-solve kay common ratio. Hindi lang basta magkasunod, basta present yung term or yung value dito sa given. So for this case, kay example 4, I chose ace of 3 or the third term and the fourth term. Then kinuha ko yung value, so the ace of 3 is equals to 75. And the fourth term or the ace of 4 is equals to negative 375. Then yung formula, inalter ko na kaagad. So the common ratio is equals to ace of 4 divided by the ace of 3. Substitute the values. So the common ratio is equal to negative 375 divided by 75. Then the answer is R is equals to negative 5. The common ratio is equal to negative 5. Then after finding the common ratio, isosolve na natin or determine na natin si sixth term. So for finding the sixth term, we need again the value of the ace of 1, the value of the common ratio, and the value of n. So again, the value of ace of 1 is equals to 3. Dito natin siya kukunin sa ating given na geometric sequence. The next one, si common ratio, yung result kanina sa solving natin. Then sa n naman kukunin natin dito sa missing or yung nth term na kailangan natin i-solve, which is the sixth term. That's why n is equals to 6. Then the original formula, the second formula, then yung same method kanina, ang una nating substitute muna is the value of the n. So it will become ace of 6 is equals to ace of 1 times the ratio raised to 6 minus 1. Then 6 minus 1, the answer is 5. So the next line of the solution will become ace of 6 equals to ace of 1 times r raised to 5. So simplified na yung formula. Doon pa lang natin ulit i-substitute si ace of 1 at si common ratio. So the next part of the solution will be ace of 6 is equals to 3 times negative 5 raised to 5. Erase ko lang class. Then, una nating solve yung negative 5 raised to 5, yung may exponent. So it will become ace of 6 equals to 3 times negative 3,125. Then multiply the two numbers. So the value of ace of 6 is equals to negative 9,375. So therefore, the sixth term is negative 9,375. So I hope you understood the different examples or on how to use the formula for finding the nth term without determining the previous term or terms. So may dalawang formula tayo. Again, I strongly suggest na gamitin nyo yung second formula. So let's continue sa part 3 ng ating lesson. So the part 3 is all about the geometric mean. Ano si geometric mean? So geometric mean is the term between any two positive terms in a geometric sequence. Again, geometric mean is the term between any two positive terms in a geometric sequence. So there are two formulas for finding the geometric mean. Pero meron akong mas piniling formula which is more accurate. So let us denote ito yung first formula. Let us denote geometric mean as x. So, x is equals to a sub n times the a sub n. It means, i-multiply lang natin yung dalawang given na term para makuha natin si geometric mean. Ay multiply natin, then find the square root, then makuha na agad natin si geometric mean for the first formula. Then the second formula, class, we may also use the formula a sub n is equals to a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1 in inserting geometric means between two terms of a geometric sequence. So, pwede din tong formula na to. Pero yung problema sa formula na to, class, medyo mahaba siya. Ito yung short method, ito yung long method. Sa long method naman, class, meron tayong kunting problema. So, later on sa example na, isa lang kasi yung example na ginamit ko wait, I think dalawa din, pero yung yung unang example na ipapakita ko sa inyo, malalaman nyo yung reason bakit sinabi kong most accurate or more accurate to. Hindi pala most. Dapat more. More lang yan, class, ha. More accurate yung formula na x equals to square root of a sub n times a sub n. So, let's start. So, pag-solve. So, for example, 5 class, gagamitin ko yung dalawang solution or the two different formulas. So, mag-start tayo kay solution 1, which is the x equals to the square root of a sub n times a sub n. So, here's the problem. Determine the positive geometric mean between negative 5 and negative 45. So, for solution 1, let us denote geometric mean as x. So, yung formula nga kanina, dinirekta ko ng substitute yung two terms na given. So, x equals to the square root of negative 5 times negative 45. So, x is equals to the square root of 225. The square root of 225 is 15. So, the value of the geometric mean is equal to positive 15. Which is, sinunod niya yung required natin sa problem, which is a positive geometric mean. So, positive si 15, it means sakto siya sa ating missing. Well, for the solution number 2, medyo, sabi ko nga, long method siya, medyo mahaba yung formula. So, we have here the a sub 1, which is negative 5. Then, we already consider the a sub negative 45 as the third term. Bakit kinonsider agad natin siya na a sub 1, si negative 5, si a sub 3, o si negative 45 is the a sub 3 kasi kailangan natin yung term between them. So, the term between them should be 2. Kaya kung kasi si a sub 1 sa negative 5, a sub 2 sa negative 45, what is in between them? Wala. So, dapat yung isa si a sub 1, yung isa si a sub 3. Okay. Then, hanapin muna natin dito si common ratio kasi hindi naman pwede gamitin yung formula kung walang common ratio. So, to find the common ratio, class, hindi natin pwede gamitin yung usual na formula for common ratio kasi hindi naman succeeding term yung given. Again, yung given natin is the first term and the third term. Hindi siya succeeding terms. Hindi siya magkasunod. So, hindi applicable yung formula kanina. So, ito yung gagamitin natin. Then after that, i-substitute na natin yung values. So, a sub 3 is equals to a sub 1 times r raised to 3 minus 1. Then, i-simplify natin. A sub 3 is equals to a sub 1 times r squared. After that one, then pa lang natin substitute yung a sub 1 at a sub 3. So, it will become negative 45 is equals to negative 5 times r squared. The negative 40, divide both sides by negative 5 para yung remaining sa right side is the r squared na lang. So, negative 5 times r squared divided by negative 5, the answer is 1. So, 1 times r squared, the remaining term will be r squared. For the left side naman, negative 45 divided by negative 5, the answer is positive 9. So, find the square of the both sides. So, our square root of the both sides, so square root of 9 is equals to square root of r squared. R is equals to positive 3. So, the common ratio is positive 3. Therefore, a sub 2 is equals to a sub 1 times r. Then, substitute na natin yung values to find the a sub 2. So, negative 5 times 3, the answer is negative 15. Wherein, yung kailangan natin for the example 5 is the positive geometric mean. Pero yung nakuha nating answer is negative 15. Pero kung i-check natin siya, class, hindi niya lang kasi na-meet up yung requirements, pero tama pa rin yung sequence. Kasi for example, we have the common ratio na positive 3. So, negative 5 times 3, the answer is negative 15. Then, negative 15 times positive 3, the answer is negative 45. Then, there are cases na mapapaisip ka, sir, di ba pag square root, there are two answers. The positive and the negative. Kasi kung mag-negative 3 times 3 nga naman tayo, the answer will be still positive 9, right? Negative 3 times negative 3, the answer is positive 9. So kung ginawa natin dito si R na negative 3, so ang magiging kalabasan dito class sa A sub 2 is positive 15 kasi magiging negative 5 times negative 3. So the answer will be positive 15. Mamimit natin yung requirements na positive geometric mean. Pero there is a small problem again. Meron ulit tayong problema. Kasi nga yung given natin the A sub 1 is negative 5. So kung yung R natin class is negative 3, so negative 5 times negative 3, the answer is positive 15. Okay, tama siya. Then i-multiply ulit natin 15 times the negative 3, the answer is negative 45. Pero nga dito sabi ko, long method siya class, so mas prefer ko yung solution 1. Kasi mas easier to use. Kasi dito pwedeng mangyari na magkaroon tayo ng tinatawag na confusion. Kasi masyado mahaba yung formula wherein meron namang mas madali at mas accurate. Okay class, understood ba? Intindi ba? Kasi dito talaga yung una nating nakuhang answer, explain ko ulit para hindi tayo masyado magulo. Yung una natin talaga nakuhang answer is negative 15. Then dahil negative 15 siya, hindi naman kasi dito sa rule ng common ratio class na sinabi na pwede mong i-consider yung another value of the square root, right? Kasi from our previous solving ng common ratio, wala naman nangyaring ganung case. So hindi natin yung pwede i-apply. Siguro sa ibang topic, ina-apply kasi siya nung grade, sa ibang grade 9 lessons. Pero for this one, hindi siya applicable. That's why sabi ko nga, mas accurate yung solution 1. Kasi dito, negative 15 nakuha natin, from the word positive, wala na. So sabi ko, hindi naman siya mali, okay naman siya yung formula, pero si solution 1 yung more accurate. So starting from this example 5, and sa pag-solve nyo, ang gagamitin nyo is si solution 1. Pero magta-try pa tayo ng maraming example. For example 6. So we are going to insert 3 geometric means between 2 and 2,592. So it means 2 is the first term and 2,592 is the fifth term. Hanapin natin si second term, si third term, at si fourth term. So paano nyo yan gagawin? So here is the solution. Kasi later on baka dyan sa pinasagutan ko sa inyo, merong ganitong case. If ever wala, then di maging thankful kayo. Pero mas better na mayroon kayong idea kung paano ang pag-solve. Malay nyo sa examination may lumabas. So let's start solving the solution. So we have 2, then comma, the first missing term, the second missing term, and the third missing term, or the 3 geometric means na kailangan natin ma-insert. Then the fifth term, 2,592. So how are we going to solve this one? So guys, based from the definition na kanina, geometric means are the term between any two or any two terms, right? Any two terms sa geometric sequence. So pwede ang term between the 2 and 2,592 talaga is the third term, right? So una natin dito nga hanapin class is the third term. Gamit yung first term at si fifth term. So ito yung gagawin, simple lang. So gamitin si first formula. So the geometric mean or x is equal to the square root of 2 times 2,592. So 2 times 2,592, the answer is the square root of 5,184. So the square root of 5,184 is 72. So the third term is 72. So ito na yung kalabasan ng ating sequence. 2, blank, 72, blank, 2,592. Then from this one, it's either, it's up to you class kung may ganitong problem kayong susolve. Pwedeng unahin nyo yung second term or yung fourth term. So for this case, yung inuna kong hinanap is the second term. So let us solve for the geometric mean between 2 and 72. And denote it as a y. Bakit ba pinalitan ko yung name ng geometric mean? Kasi kanina ginamit na natin si x. So, kailangan, kasi kung x ulit yung gagamitin natin, wherein nasa isang problem lang siya, it can cause confusion. So, balitan natin yung variable. So, okay lang naman palitan yung variable ng geometric mean as long na aware ka na yan, na meaning ng variable na yun, or ang nire-represent niya is the geometric mean. So, y is equals to the square root of 2 times 72. Y is equals to the square root of 144. So y is equals to 12. So the second term or the geometric mean na sinolve natin between 2 and 72, the answer is 12. So yung kalabasan ng sequence natin, 2, 12, 72, blank, and 2,592. So i-copy natin yung sequence, yung latest sequence natin. Isa na lang yung missing na geometric mean. Yung geometric mean between 72 and 2,592. So, same formula. So, let us solve for the geometric mean between 72 and 2,592 and denote it as Z. So, Z naman yung gagamitin natin. So, Z, wait, hindi ko pala napalitan. So, Z is equal to square root of 72 and 2,592. So, Z is equals to square root of 186,624. So, the square root of that value is Z is equals to 432. Again, Z is equals to 432. So, the geometric means are 12, 72, and 432. So, mahirap ba gamitin yung first formula, class? Based dito sa example 6. So, if you think na mahirap siya, okay, you have your freedom to choose the second formula. Kung willing ka mag-solve na gamit yung long method and medyo mangyari, hindi nyo mapansin na may confusion na mangyari or may part na nalito kayo dahil long method yun, dito na tayo sa short method, which is mas madali. Okay, let's remember. A geometric sequence or geometric progression is a sequence in which there is a common ratio between any consecutive terms. The common ratio is denoted as a small letter r and is derived by dividing the succeeding term by the preceding term. The formula for the n term of an arithmetic sequence is, so a sub n is equals to a sub n minus 1 times the common ratio, or a sub n is equals to a sub 1 times r raised to n minus 1. The geometric mean between any two positive terms of a geometric sequence is the square root of their product. So here is the list of the activities that you need to answer for the lesson number 2. So the first one is, let's practice A on page 181. Answer numbers 1 to 8 only. And for let's practice B on page 181, answer numbers 1 to 4 only. Let's practice C on page 182, answer numbers 1 to 4 only. Then lastly, for let's practice D on page 182, answer numbers 1 to 4 only. So yung total ng number of items na sasagutan nyo for lesson 2 is 8 plus 4, the answer is 12. 12 plus 4 is 16, and 16 plus 4 is 20. So 20 item test yung sasagutan nyo para kay lesson 2. Also, i-remind ko lang kayo to follow the format of what to be written in the paper before answering. Yung format na sinend ko sa group chat natin at yung format na diniscuss ko during the parent orientation are just the same. So please follow that format, class, kasi for your sake naman yan. Opo, mapapadali yung work namin sa teachers, but it is for your sake, para hindi mawala at mas madaling organize yung outputs nyo. And also the schedule of submission, so you can submit your outputs after 2 weeks kung sa tingin nyo marami na yung outputs nyo from different subjects. Or pwede din isubmit nyo na lang siya sa October 7 and 8 sa end of the 4 months na weekly home learning plan. Good for 1 month na weekly home learning plan. So, it's the end of the lesson number 2. Thank you again for listening in our online discussion, and see you again next week for another challenging and interesting topic. That's all, kiddos, and have a nice day ahead.